subscribe. Tariq Radio. Watch and subscribe.
Just sitting here thinking, remember when we could tell where you bitches was from based off of how y'all dressed? How y'all dressed though? We knew exactly where y'all were from based off of how y'all dressed. And it went something like this. Down south bitches, y'all could never dress. It was never given, oh yeah, like we could tell a bitch can't dress. She from the South. She's from the South. Like the way she's dressing is giving Southern. It always gave that. It always gave, all right, the way she's dressing is giving Southern. Like, it's giving down South. That's how us up north people was looking at down South. Now, the Southerns is giving a Northern. Like, y'all are dressing like y'all from New York, which is cool. But don't act like y'all started something. Because you bitches never gave swag. Cali, we knew y'all was from Cali based off of how y'all dressed, too. Like, we knew where everybody was from. And guess what? When you seen a New York bitch come through, you knew she was from New York because the swag was turned up. Swag was turned up. It was giving all the way, turned up, all the way. I like that you Southern bitches can dress now. Congratulations! But don't let that get to your head top. Because it always gave us. We always had the swag. We always had the swag. The New York girlies always had the swag. Don't deny it. Denial is a river in Egypt. Social media taught a lot of people how to dress. But New York bitches, we always had that, bro. I'm sorry. We always had that. Like, we had that on lock. That's what we had on lock. I think you Southern bitches, y'all was the fighters, right? They gave fight. Mm-hmm.
Are you African or are you Caribbean?
I'm Nigerian.
Yeah.
But I don't
You don't
eat
jack that?
African food. Wait, what? Excuse me? Beg your pardon? Jacking it all the way. I don't eat African food from others. Excuse me.
Hold on. Wait, what? I'm sorry.
No.
What's your favorite Nigerian food?
Agusi.
I never had it. Is it good?
Mad good. I just bodied that shit before I came out here.
Really?
There's another video of this woman, Cleo Trapper. She's a rapper / Instagram chick who just talks a lot of crap on Instagram. Now, this chick, she's Nigerian, but she does a lot of videos, and her thing is just over the top FBA speech patterns. And she did a video talking about, yeah, people in the South, from us up in New York, we can always tell from when people are from the South. People from the South can't dress. Yeah, we in New York, we the fashion kings and queens, whoop-de-whoop. We always know when somebody ain't from here. The people from the South, y'all can't dress. She's doing all this talking, and I'm like, woman, you are Nigerian. Ma'am, you are Nigerian. You are not of our culture. She really goes over the top. And even that narrative that she's saying, look, man, listen, the Harlem Renaissance and all that, there were a lot of Southern influences with that. And also, when you talk about New York fashion, modern New York fashion, that was shaped by the people like Dapper Dan. And Dapper Dan's family is from South Carolina, by the way. You see, and Dapper Dan basically, created a whole trend and a whole vibe up there with that swag and fashion. Even before that, you had, I'm talking about for the sisters, a person who's very influential on hip hop, urban culture, and dress. People like Debbie D, who's in my movie Microphone Check. I don't think Debbie D gets enough credit for being like a hip hop fashionista, because Debbie D, you go back to the 70s and Debbie D was rocking the leather and all of those fly girl outfits. Her whole thing was being a fly girl. So we had sister and her family, they're from North Carolina. So yeah, we've always had that vibe. We brought Southern aesthetics and mixed it with the northern urban vibe. So there's always been a synergy between the North and the South. So this non-FBA woman trying to put her 2 cents in when they were wearing, flip flops and you know musty dresses. It's yes, they shouldn't really speak on the culture like that. And then when people try to emulate foundational Black American women, you know, and then they just go all over the top. I don't know. Certain people are starting to feel a certain way about it, and I understand. Look, foundational Black Americans, they set the global trend for Black femininity. You understand? A lot of foundational Black American women, they define what Black girl swag looks like: hair, nails, curves, slang, energy. People talk about laying edges. Man, we got sisters been doing that shit since Josephine damn Baker. Go look at pictures of Josephine Baker. She was laying edges in the damn 20s. Dude, people be playing catch up on our sisters, man. Y'all got to catch up. You understand? If people emulate foundational Black American women, white folks, white women too. They try to emulate that aesthetic too. You see, uh, that's been that whole foundational Black American woman vibe. That's the pinnacle of cool sassiness, strong womanhood. Um, they've always represented confidence, sexuality, power. Whether it's the long lashes, the bold colors, fashion forward streetwear. That's all FBA woman stuff. FBA women have always been in the forefront of that. And the thing is, a lot of these other groups, they just don't have the strong aesthetic culture of their own. They just don't. So yeah, many of them, they come over and they have to emulate our sisters. They haven't really developed an aesthetic for themselves like that, even in their homelands. And I'm not saying this as a diss because I'm not trying to beat up on none of these groups. I'm just saying when people start trying to emulate the culture and point fingers and make critiques about North and South, no, if you ain't from this culture, if you're not from the lineage, stay out of that. Stay out of that bullshit. If you ain't from the lineage, just stay out of it. Because people get to talking about some shit they don't know what they're talking about. And remember, let me be real. See that north, south, east, west thing. A lot of the negativity that was fueled by tethers. A lot of the negativity, the coastal beefs, because we didn't really have coastal beefs like that. We had differences and we did things a certain way, but we were always clicked in with each other. Foundational Black Americans all over. We recognized and respected our differences, but when as far as it being a beef thing, that got started in the 90s by tethers. And you know where it really got started? With that Tim Dog. Tim Dog, when he did that song called Compton. And I think Tim Dog is a tether. I think he was a tether. And I think he died. He died, by the way. But yeah, when he came out with that song, Compton, it was like, what, Compton? What? Because then we out here, we felt a certain way about that because we embraced all those New York artists. New York artists had come out here, we embraced them. And then what happened was in the 90s, there were a lot of tethers out there. There was a lot of immigrants out there in New York by the 90s. And what happened was you would have Southern acts and West Coast acts come out and do their thing, and they get booed in New York. I know the Ghetto Boys went up there to New York and got booed. Those are tethers doing that shit. You understand? So they were fueling a lot of that weird stuff. When Vibe magazine, which was run by a lot of tethers, they were fueling a lot of that stuff. You know? So yeah, we got to really, really dig back and look and see who was who in that East, West, um, Southern, North, South beef, all that shit. And we got to see who's who in that. We're gonna really have to unpack that, you know. Because again, out here on the West Coast, man, we embraced all the New York cats. Houdini, everybody would come out here, Run DMC. We welcomed them with open arms. We had K-Day. They would play East Coast stuff all the time. We respected it. Yeah. So what no beef on our end, but when cats start talking about Compton and all that, it's like, oh damn, okay. Well, nigga, watch your back when you come out here then. You know? So it started going somewhere else. So we have to look and see who was promoting all this stuff. All right, let me see who we got. Boy, we got a lot of people in here. Damn, we got a lot of folks in here. All right. Oh yeah, my dude hit me. Yeah, my guy hit me with some real talk. Remember with the Tupac, even with the Tupac thing, the Biggie and Tupac thing. You know that whole thing? It was Caribbeans behind that stuff. The Caribbeans setting up Tupac. Oh, y'all don't want to go there. Do we? Y'all don't really want to. Do we need to open up them can of worms? Do we need to open up them can of worms and talk about the Caribbeans that were setting Tupac up and all that shit? Nah, I'll leave that alone. I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to get into that Haitian Jack, and I don't want to get into that. That'll be a little bit too deep. That'll be too deep. Oh man. Let's see who we got. Let me see. Let's get King John Horse in the building. King John Horse. King John Horse, hop on in, brother.
I'm
How you
from
doing,
New
brother?
York. I'm good, man. It's so good to hear from you, brother. Keep doing your thing. Big supporter. Shout out to everybody that's in here that's doing their thing, that's on code. I'm from New York, so when you brought up New York, I had to say something, man. We had a lot of love, and we still do got love for the West, the
Yeah.
South. Like when you think about New York rappers, you don't really hear New York rappers beefing with dudes from the South. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we came from there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, we would all go down there for our family reunions. So when you hear these people, I'm in New York, and it's crazy how many tethers and just people who just aren't from our lineage who are black who are here now. And it's amazing. Like one of the strong black communities that's still black is like Flatbush. But Flatbush is like mainly Caribbeans.
Oh yeah.
Other places like Bed-Stuy, they gentrified a whole lot of us. Bushwick, Clinton Hills, all that. That's been gentrified. So, when I hear these people talk crazy, you just look at them and you just be like, what are you talking about? Like we don't have time to be beefing with nobody from, different places in this country because we all move and think the same. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And whenever someone talks about New York this, New York that, and they try to make it seem like, New York is better than everybody, most of the time, these people, like you said, they're not from our culture
Right.
because they really not. They just clowns and they think, like in New York, a lot of times people don't talk to each other. But when you really start peeling back that onion, you're like, you know what? It's not the people from the South. Because when I go to Harlem, I get love. You can just feel it. When there's certain FBA brothers and sisters around, you can feel it. And
Yeah.
then when you go to these other places, you're like, why is this person acting so stank?
Yeah.
Or why is this person so, like just super aggressive? And then when you start saying, like, your ass ain't even from here.
Mm.
You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? So I just want to say that as a New Yorker, you know what I'm saying? Just letting you know, it's a lot of us real ones out here. These people is clowns, and just keep doing your thing, Flex. Love you, bro, and I'm gonna put something on your cash app.
Man, much respect. I remember when I first went to New York. I went to New York for the first time in 91 or 92. It was either 91. I know it was right around the riots out here. It might have been 91. It might have been 91. Uh, yeah, because I know NWA was out. I remember that. Redman was about to come out because I met Redman up there. When did Redman's first album come out, guys? I met Nice and Smooth up there because I was up there. It was a music convention, and Def Jam hooked me up. They gave me a hotel out there because I was kind of doing street promotions out here in LA. So, they hooked me up out there um, so that I can, to kind of, they were bringing um, different people in the music industry out and basically schmoozing them so that they can promote their artists and all that stuff. But I remember going out there my first time, and I didn't know what to expect in New York because the whole Tim Dog thing, where it was Fuck Compton and all that, we felt a certain way. And the whole thing was we thought, okay, that New York would be hostile to West Coast people. So I didn't know what to expect. I was out there ready to be on some rah-rah shit. I didn't know what to expect, but I went out there and boy, the cats showed so much love. The New York cats showed mad love. They were real, real cool folks. Very cool folks. Just down to earth, hella cool. I just started meeting a whole bunch of friends out there and just kicking it with a bunch of folks, especially in Harlem. I was really running around Harlem. And I was just surprised about a lot of things that I didn't know about New York. I didn't know how fly niggas were and how fly everybody was because at the time in music videos, I think what was hot was a lot of the Brooklyn rappers. So they would show grimy niggas with backpacks on the music videos. That's what you thought of New York at the time. When you look at videos back in 91, it'd be a nigga with a backpack on and some dreads rapping fast. I'm running in and get the cipher. I get the real hyper. I get the 14 years rapping like that. So you think niggas running around with fatigues and backpacks and Timberlands on. But I was in Harlem and you had cats wearing silk shirts and dudes fly. Niggas was fly. I'm like, damn, okay. Cats had nice cars and whips. Dudes was riding them Infinities at the time. That was a hot thing around that time. So yeah, cats was fly. Cats was getting real fly and jeweled up and niggas wearing Versace and shit. This was in the early 90s. This is before Biggie was talking about that shit. They were doing that shit in Harlem, early 90s. Niggas was real fly, that Dapper Dan shit. So I'm like, oh, these guys out here getting it. These dudes are getting it. And I was hanging with some of the hustlers out there, and I'm like, these niggas is out here getting it. So I fell in love with it. Um, it was a culture shock seeing all the shit on the subways because I went on the subways and saw those, people in the weird outfits and costumes. That I'm like, what the hell? I saw a white man dressed like Dracula in the broad daylight, just out here. He had a cape on, some fangs, and some high heel boots. Just walking around the subway. I'm like, what the hell? And nobody was even paying attention to him. I'm like, damn, New York is off the damn chain. But I fell in love with it. I love New York to this day. Absolutely love New York. Man, let me get a couple of more folks in here. Let me get a couple of more folks in the building. Y'all raise those hands, ladies and gentlemen, because we got a lot of people in here. Let's get HM. Let's get HM in the building. HM in the building. H to the M. Where you at?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Got a hot clean mic.
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
I'm cool, my G. I have 2 points. I think there's a propensity for like a higher fashion IQ out up top on the East Coast,
Oh
just
yeah.
because you got to deal with four seasons. When you in one season weather for like three quarters to almost all year round, it requires less pieces in your wardrobe to really, maintain a certain amount of style.
Oh yeah.
That is. And secondly, I wanted to know if you had happened to have any insight on the mention of plantation credits when they were doing the Night's Take, the twins when they was going over the numbers from the juke joint. Did you happen to have any insight on what a plantation credit was? I have yet to hear anybody mention this.
Yeah, I did notice that when they said that plantation credit. I'm trying to understand what they were talking about. Probably was they would say, "Hey, I would pay you later" or something like that when I get my money from the sharecropping. Because remember, um, in the scene, one of the sharecroppers he paid with money and then like some wooden nickels. Remember that? It was like some wooden money.
I do recall.
Right. And Smoke was like, "Hey, no, no, I'm a businessman. We don't take that bullshit. We don't take that money." They were like, "No, no, no. We got to let these folks know that they're wanted here, they're needed here. So we have to, accept their money. Um, don't marginalize them." So they were kind of having an argument about the money that the guy brought up in there. So I think that plantation credit has something to do with that.
Yeah, I found that pretty intriguing,
Yeah.
especially considering like if that was the only form of credit they was really only doling out to black folks. It's interesting that they would give the Chinese credits, actual like real credit to open up stores out in Mississippi, whereas we were only good enough to receive plantation credits from people who owned some land and acreage, and they needed to get some of they greenbacks up.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Real deep film, man. Thank you, brother. Excuse me. Very deep film. All right. There's a lot of stuff that I caught that I didn't catch the first time. Remember when the Native Americans were looking for the vampire, went to those people's houses? There were these crows circling around the house. That was a hell of a deep scene. Warning of danger. The crows, that's like an omen. When birds show up, that's like, hey, something evil is happening here. So that was a heavy scene that I didn't catch the first time. So a lot of little nuances. I loved it. It was a very intelligent film. Melanie, what's up, dear?
Hey Tariq, how you been?
I'm good, beloved. How you been, sweetie?
I've been good, tired, but
Oh,
it's a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention. A lot of this East Coast divide against the Deep South. Remember I was telling you around the election time that Kamala Harris, the Democratic team was saying like they wanted to turn Texas blue and they was trying to get into the government and flip it over. They really trying to get them southern states.
yeah,
Yeah, this is the tactic that they're on it now. They over talking about it now. So I think they really targeting the South states. They really trying to like get into government and policies down there because they really focusing on like the southern states, mainly Texas, but they have been talking about the South Carolinas, Mississippi, and it's another one I can't think of it right now, but they are targeting those deep states to turn them blue, and they are trying to start like a gender war, saying like the males are misogynistic, X, Y, and Z, and they are trying to like cause a division with the states, especially like have us feeling a negative type of way about the southern states. Because I'm from Chicago and we
yeah,
got a deep rooted history with Mississippi
yeah,
and they talking cash shit about Mississippi, and they really trying to get into Texas because there's a lot of money there,
yeah.
and they really want to get into government and change the policies, and the Democrats are on it. So y'all pay attention and keep your eye out for that. And that's all I got. I'll
There
end.
you go. There you go. Thank you so much, beloved. All right. All right, let me get up out of here, guys. It's been real. Shout out to everybody in here. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. Go get the movie Microphone Check at microphonecheck.com. All right, family. I'm up out of here. Puppy Akute, Lola Vuve to the family. Peace.
Look at me, I'm set for the night. Look good, smell right. Yeah, I'm that type. I gotta let the world know I got that root work tonight. Root work tonight. Yeah, root work tonight. I'll be feeling so right. I got that root work tonight.